Welcome to Everlasting Summer, part 30. We just got back from the old camp after finding Shurik and sleeping with Lena. Sleeping on Lena. Yeah. Well, it's time for me to go. Screw you, Windows! I had the wrong window focused. Lena quickly turned around and walked quickly in the direction of her cabin. Quickly. I suddenly had a thought that something about that was a bit off. Not quite right. After all that had happened, it's time for me to go. It usually goes differently in such situations, doesn't it? I have no idea what I expected, though. Exhaustion hit me again. Walking with difficulty, I entered the cabin. The leader was sitting on my bed. "I've been waiting for you, Semyon." "Semyon." She started to talk sadly. "Where have you been?" "Well, I prepared for a scolding. I didn't expect that. Wait, what? Oh, I wasn't. Okay, that reaction. I went to look for Shurik. Alone? The guide says, tell her you went alone. Right. Yes, alone. So, what about Shurik? I have a question. Can I now go back before that decision? I could. Okay. What about Shurik? Looks like Olga was really worried about the fate of the lost pioneer. What's so strange about that? The leader can treat her work lightly, but it doesn't mean that she's a heartless person. He's okay. As okay as he could be in such a situation. That's good. Go to sleep now. Wait, but... She turned the lights out quickly, showing that the conversation is over, and I couldn't ask anything. Though, should I? And why didn't she scold me? Still, Lena, what happened today? My thoughts slowed their pace before stopping completely. Day 5. I was waiting for that. I was just like, man, we're almost done with Lena's route. It didn't take too long. Like, a week and a half to 2 weeks. It's gonna take a while. We ran to the last of our strength. Like those before our precious lives. We've seen this, haven't we? Oh, hey! The skip's actually working now, because we've already seen this text. Oh, go me! I mean, I didn't do anything, but... does it tell me where to go? Go with me? No. I'm gonna go to the infirmary because my feet. I remembered this problem before. My feet. I took good care of my health. Well, let me skip this because I have already seen this. Alright, so here's the next decision, is go with Lena, and that gets us 2 pluses. Woo! Helping Elisa? That's the next decision, is try to find out about Elisa and Lena arguing, and then help Elisa. Why help Elisa? Why is that a plus? Whatever. Go with Lena. We've always gone with Slavi before, but let me go with you. Let's go. Okay, that's fine. Slavi grabbed the second basket and ventured to the opposite side of the island. Well, let's go. Yeah, Lena smiled. Just pay attention. Don't leave a single bear behind. You too. So, it was harvest time. Indeed, the strawberries here were delicious. I could probably eat them all if I didn't stop myself in time. Despite being wild grown, the berries were close to garden ones in size and had a rich red color, so it was clear that our visit here wasn't in vain. Lena followed me closely as we had only one basket for the both of us. Felt like a real mushroom picker, examining each shrub and carefully pawing the grass. Well, you're much better than me. Am I? Frankly, I'm not even counting them. Yeah, right you are. The basket was already half full. You must enjoy nature, right? I do. Flash. The bright sun rays pierced the treetops and blinded me for a second. I sat down on the ground and leaned against a tree. Still, it's so beautiful here. Lena sat down next to me. So close that her elbows touched. Oh, now I'm gonna have girl cooties. Yeah. We just sat and enjoyed the moment. It seemed like time stood still. The wind gently shook the tree leaves. Some bugs lazily hopped around the grass, and splashes of sunlight played on the faraway water surface. Lena put her head on my shoulder. I was surprised at first, but then I heard her regular breathing, and thought, oh, look where my hand's at. Ah, yes, Semyon. Regular breathing, and thought that it's just a matter of course. Probably she felt drowsy and wanted to take a quick nap. I just sat there and didn't think of anything for a few minutes. But then words started crossing my mind with ultrasonic speed. Lena. So close. Sleeping. So warm. So gentle. Feelings. I gazed at her. She had such a serene, such a tranquil look on her face, that it seemed that right now she's not here, but in some kind of better world. I don't know what would have happened the next moment if I didn't hear the voice of Slavia. Semyon! Lena! I shook my head from side to side a few times to come to my senses. Lena started to wake up. She opened her eyes and gave me an empty look. Have a nice dream? Huh? Suddenly realizing that she had dozed off, leaning on my shoulder, Lena blushed. Oh, I'm sorry. It's fine. Slavia came over to us, so Lena rushed to get up. So how much have you got? I can't remember Slavia's voice again. Oh no. I sighed. That's not a lot. Her basket was filled with strawberries to the brim. Well, it's enough anyway. It's time to get back. I grabbed the basket and we headed back to the boat. The way back took less time as I tried to concentrate on rowing and ignoring everything else. My only wish was to get back alive, and the first trip hadn't gone without consequences, and now my hands started to hurt after only a few sweeps of the oars. Having tied up the boat, I fell to the ground with no energy left, and we've already read this, so skip. Nightmare dream. It doesn't say anything, but I'm gonna say thanks to girls' help anyway. It's just because I'm that nice guy. Wait, whoa, what? Oh, scroll wheel can scroll back and forth between the text. Today I learned. Okay. Skip. Oh no, we're just gathering the stuff. I was about to say, it doesn't say where to go. Can we skip this? Please, there's nothing new. Stay on guard. Go to the infirmary. Skip. In the clubhouse, which we shall promptly skip. I'm really liking the skip button working again. Nothing new with Lena. Okay, wow. No. Okay, so try to find out about Elisa and Lena arguing about. That is what it tells me to do. Okay, now apparently we haven't seen it, so. Only Lena and Lisa stood out in all this splendor. Well, of course, it was quite natural for Elisa to be arguing with someone like that. But hearing Lena talk in a raised voice, I came closer silently, trying to find out what was going on. No, you listen to me. I'm not going to listen to anything. Really? Great then. Lisa turned away and her eyes met mine. At first she obviously was confused about what was going on, but then... So, you're eavesdropping. What, me? No. She began slowly advancing on me, and I took only a few steps back. Why is this music here? This is the title music that's on the main menu. Lena, however, remained standing where she was. Well, okay then, listen. Lisa stopped halfway, and turned back to Lena. I think it's these voices that makes me have to sneeze. By the way, did you know he was peeping on me today? She's turned British. What? Peeping, and he saw everything. Is that true? Lena wrung her hands distressedly, gave me a quick glance and started staring at the ground, as if she was cut off from the world. No, nothing like that happened. Having thrown an angry glance at Elisa, I came up to Lena. Why are you denying it? I even have a witness. Your witness is even worse than you. So you'll stick to your claim that it didn't happen? I took a second to think. But really, Why do I have such a pathological desire to exonerate myself before Lena? What the fuck? As though I vitally need it. Need her opinion of me to remain unchanged. Because you like her! Though, how would I know what she's thinking? It didn't happen. Lena threw a baleful look at Elisa and raised her eyes to me. Right after that, eyes full of discomfort and hope. It suddenly became unbearable to stare into those eyes. It didn't happen. I repeated less confidently. Well, whatever. Elisa sneered from behind me. It's up to you to decide who to trust. She said to Lena offhandedly, then turned away and headed to the bonfire. Is that true? I felt uncomfortable, like a fish out of water, feeling the urge to end this as fast as possible. And why should I have to excuse myself to her? Well, so what if it did happen? I looked at Lena boldly, but noticed only a bright sunset gleam reflected in a tear which is going down her cheek. No, I meant... You don't need to lie. She wiped off her tears and tried to smile. After all, it's none of my business. No, why isn't it? But why is it? It's just that well, it was an accident, get it? An accident which was caused by Ileana, nothing more. Yeah, sure. It's true! I believe you. Lena was saying everything with absolutely no emotion, like she didn't care at all about what was going on. I was almost able to believe it, but her tears a few seconds ago. Seems to me that you don't. What is this? Some kind of game? Well... Lena said quietly, but there was a hint of anger in her tone. You really need to convince me of that? And even if I believed you, what then? Would it all become true? I'm not trying to convince you of anything, I just want you to understand that I'm not guilty, and didn't want to. Why should I care at all? Why should I care at all? Lena shouted. I was standing with my back to the bonfire, but I was sure that all the pioneers had turned in our direction. If you want to be with someone, do it. Do whatever you want, but why do you bother me? I'm not... But really, from any point of view, it looked that way, trying to excuse myself to Lena with no success. Like a guilty child, or maybe even like a husband who'd slipped up. Just so you know, I don't care. Lena turned away and headed back to the camp at a fast walk. I didn't try to stop her. Now it certainly wasn't the best. Now it certainly wasn't the best solution. She's on the edge. No attempts to convince her or appeal to reason would help. Since when is she like that? Screaming that way? Getting mad? With these thoughts in mind, I returned to the bonfire and sat down on a wooden log. So? Elisa asked after seating herself nearby. What? Not a great success, huh? As you see. I growled out while picking at the coals with a stick. It grew completely dark and the glade was plunged into darkness. The surrounding landscape was reminiscent of a picture from a child's book about a wood monster. An unknown forest creature is just about to spring out from behind the tree. Predatory owls hoot menacingly in tree branches. Even mice looking out from the snags stare at you with distrust. I was not afraid at that moment. Everything was different from the previous day, when I was in the dungeon at the old camp. The moon was shining brightly, paying close attention to our brave troop. The world was sleeping, waiting for the morning, bathing in the moonlight. As I thought, though it was expected. But why? I finally managed to pick up the largest burning log and throw it into the center of the fire, causing the flames to rise about a meter high, and a vortex of sparks to spread out in all directions. Does Lena often behave like that? How? Screaming at others? I couldn't believe she would act in such a way. She's human, like anyone else. Elisa giggled. As if you haven't noticed this before. What hadn't I noticed? Her. What do you mean? I mean, this is her true face. What do you mean, true face? Oh, you're so stupid. That's what I'm saying. Finish what you started. She's not what she seems like. She's not what she seems like. Not like how you thought of her before. So, how is she? Okay, I'm sick of this. Lisa stood up, intending to leave. I didn't say anything, just sat and listened to the silence of the forest. By the way, if you want to follow her, I think she's on the island. On what island? The one where you were gathering strawberries today. And what is she doing there? Ugh, you really are an idiot. Lisa stomped the ground, circled the campfire, and sat opposite. I must have really lost track of things. My head was absolutely blank. I am Semyon, Robot 5000, ready to do camp duties. Like, how do you not understand emotion? To be precise, it was so heavy and full that not even a single idea would he have the chance to dwell there. If I would compare my brain at its prime to a broad highway full of speeding thoughts overtaking each other and causing giant chaotic crashes, then now it's nothing but a forgotten tiny path in a distant, desolate forest, which is only used in times of absolute necessity. I tried to think over what had happened, analyze it somehow, because that's what my program tells me to do. But it seemed I was bashing against an invisible wall. Moreover, it was impossible for me to find a single emotion in my soul. Any response that he is a robot, he has no emotions, as if it had all happened to someone else. I failed to convince Lena that I'm not guilty. Should I care? Lena cried, screamed, and then left. So what? I don't feel anything about it. Should I? I bit my lip until it bled and stood up. I refuse that this is a functioning adult. I don't know, maybe he was homeschooled. Well, even homeschooled kids have relationships with friends. Whatever. I couldn't bear to stay here among these laughing pioneers. I should run away. Doesn't matter where to the forest, to the mine, even to space. I don't care, just so long as I can get far away from here. I seized a moment when the camp leader was looking in the other direction and vanished into the forest shadows. There had been no rain for a long time. However, I'm not sure whether it rains here at all. What a stupid idea. Of course it does. The plants need some moisture. Yeah, it's not like there's a lake nearby. The night was fresher than the afternoon, but the air still hadn't had enough time to cool. I felt a little dizzy from the evening stuffiness. Suddenly I realized that I really wanted to swim. It's quite a normal desire, because the days are hot and you constantly feel soaked with sweat during the daytime. I didn't even notice that I'd been approaching the pier. Why not the beach? Thoughts of Lena came over me again. Everything that I tried to ignore came out and brought lots of inconvenient questions, inappropriate answers, and vague desires. It was obvious that I had been led to the Pioneer by my subconscious. But what do I really want? To apologize to her for something? To convince her of something? No, unlikely. I just wanted to get some sort of reaction from her. Wanted her to say, yes, I understand everything, and just smile. And then I could stop myself from feeling like that. It was necessary for me to be understood by someone, even in this world. I untied a boat, pushed it into the water, got in, and took up the paddles. It was easier to row this time. My hands were still hurting, but I managed to develop some sort of technique that allowed me to travel quite directly. The river seemed frozen, spreading under the boat like a translucent veil. The moonlight was piercing deep into the water, and it was almost impossible to see the bottom. I started rowing. Surprisingly, the island now seemed the same as it did in the daytime. Here, usually everything is different. After dusk, it felt like another world, a mystery world, scary at times, but beautiful in its own way. A world of shadows and whispers, a nocturnal world. I slowly walked around the island, looking for the boat which Lena had took to come here. The grass softly rustled under my feet. The occasional waves peacefully struck the shore and bounced back like flies too tired from beating on the grass. The breeze from the water lazily stirred the leaves of the trees. Out of habit more than a real desire to make the night grove sing. I looked at this wonderful picture with such delight that I didn't even notice something until I stumbled into it. It was a boat. Well, of course, she wouldn't get here by swimming. I headed towards the center of the island. After 100 meters, I heard a rustling from behind a tree. "Don't come any closer," Lena whispered. "Don't come any closer." I hesitated. "Don't come any closer," she said louder. How did you know it's me? Though she hadn't indicated that she'd known that. Alright. I leaned against the tree, trying not to look behind it. Elisa told me that you'd be here. So what? It was difficult for me to know what emotions Lena was experiencing. Isn't it obvious? Her voice was steady enough. Even though I could read irritation and annoyance in it, I could not understand whether she was angry or whether it was all the same to her. That came out awkward. Wait, what came out awkward? What did I say? What came out awkward? What came out awkward? I was doing my best to avoid unnecessary apologies and excuses, but I couldn't find other words to use instead. Was that the only reason you came? Oh, that happened back there was awkward. No, well, I don't know. You don't know, but you still came. Yes. You shouldn't have. Why? Of course, if I'm bothering you. Why are you following me? She was right. It certainly looked that way. Moreover, I definitely felt attracted to her. You shouldn't think like this. How should I think? I don't know. I can only draw conclusions based on your behavior. I really don't know. I guess I'd better go. I was confused, and it was hard just to be near her. Why? Since you came. I seemed to hear a playful tone in her voice. Alright. And? What? What did Elisa tell you? Nothing special. I see. Well, yeah. Well then. Yep. We just stayed silent for a while. Since you came, tell me about something. Well, I don't know. For example, about what happened this morning. What about what happened this morning? You know. You yourself didn't want to talk about it. I didn't want to, but now I want to. Lisa's voice trembled. Lisa's? Lena's voice trembled. I couldn't understand what was happening at all anymore. Maybe it's not her behind the tree. Don't look. Okay, but what's wrong? Nothing, just don't look. Alright, as you wish. So, nothing happened? Well, something did, but that was all just a silly accident. Then why are you so worried about what I think about it? I'm not worried. And anyway, you yourself, I said louder, beginning to feel irritated. What about me? Why are you so concerned about this situation? Who said that I'm concerned about this situation? Then what? Nothing. She said in a whisper and fell silent. Such talk would lead us to nowhere. Lena wouldn't say anything, and I seemed to be too stupid to guess, or even to be sure about myself. Yeah. Sorry, I guess it's all my fault. I just can't understand. Why? What? Why do you keep apologizing? For everything. For what you did, for what you're doing. Even for what you haven't done yet. But maybe she was right, but I couldn't behave differently. I felt the need to apologize to her, to everyone. Oh, he's gotta be a Canadian. So they would not think badly of me, wouldn't laugh at me, so I can put away something unsaid and eliminate misunderstandings. Anyway, that's your business. Lena got angry. Apologize, make excuses. Why should I care? Okay, well, I'm not guilty. In fact, I don't think I could be blamed for anything. But then what's wrong? What is wrong with you? Why would something be wrong with me? I don't know. I just think so. Oh, you just think so? She laughed. You speak as if you know me. I did not answer. Please leave, Lena said after a while. I didn't move. Just could not. Had no strength to do so. I wanted nothing at that point. Didn't want to excuse myself, to apologize. I didn't even want her understanding. I was too tired of everything. Why? Just leave, she whispered. Just leave. I don't want to. Then I'll leave. Let's just go together. No. How long are you going to be offended? By what? What's wrong with you? Everyone here behaves normally except you. Did not care what my words meant, as if they'd been said by someone else and the topic of conversation meant nothing. You really don't understand anything. Elisa was right. About what? Never mind. I closed my eyes to think it over. No, I can't go. I don't understand. Don't know what to think, what to do. And since when did I stop worrying about my situation in this world? Or how to get back? Since when was the only thing I could think about Lena? Or how I was missing the only thing that I could think about was Lena. Or thing I could think about was Lena. There's a missing word in there. Or how others would look at me, or how my actions looked from the other side. It's just stupid, and it's not like me. In fact, it's inappropriate in this situation. Because you like her! In short, I didn't do anything, and don't intend to justify things which I didn't do. There's no reply. Hey, do you hear me? I finally decided to see who was actually hiding behind the tree, but no one was there. So she left. How did you not hear that? I rushed over to Lena's boat, but she was already far away, almost near the pier. Whatever. I shouted and walked along the shore. I got back relatively quickly, and without much trouble. However, my hands still ached terribly, and my eyes were closing themselves. That's 4 trips back and forth there. Jesus. 2 trips back and forth, but you know what I mean. Probably such a physical and, importantly, emotional load is too much for one person. I walked slowly toward the camp leader's cabin, staring down at my feet and thinking about nothing. Someone called to me at the square. Hey! Lisa ran up to me. Have you been to the island? Yes. To tell the truth, I didn't want to talk to her about anything, but I already didn't have the strength to lie to her. And how did it go? Doesn't matter. I'm very tired and I'm going to sleep. Come on, tell me. Her face is such a nasty grimace that I shuddered with rage. Why should you care? Well, she murmured in dismay. Mind your own business. I snapped and quickened my pace towards the cabins. Elisa did not try to stop me. Annoyingly, Olga had not returned yet, and I could not find my key. What if I lost it? The only thing I could do was wait. I plopped down into the deck chair and closed my eyes. And I'll have to leave this for the next episode. I'll see you on Monday. Thank you for watching. And I'll see you on Monday. I just said that. Bye-bye.